My boyfriend proposed to me at my sister's wedding without asking permission. When I said no, he told everyone I'm pregnant to save face. I'm not pregnant, and now my whole family thinks I'm a liar. 26F, genuinely don't know how my life became a complete nightmare in the span of 48 hours. But here we are. I'm writing this from a hotel room because I literally cannot face my family right now. My sister, Claire, 29F, just got married this past Saturday. It was a beautiful wedding. She'd been planning it for over a year, spent probably close to $40,000, and everything was absolutely perfect. Claire and I have always been close, and I was honored to be her maid of honor. My boyfriend, Derek, 28M, was my plus one. We've been dating for about 8 months. Things have been fine, like not amazing but not terrible. He's been dropping hints about marriage for the last month or so, but I've been pretty clear that I'm not ready. I want to focus on my career right now. I just started a new job 3 months ago, and honestly, 8 months feels way too soon for me. Here's where everything went to hell. During the reception, right after the father-daughter dance, the DJ handed the microphone to Derek. I had no idea this was happening. Claire looked confused too. Derek gets down on one knee in the middle of the dance floor and starts this long speech about how he knew the moment he met me that I was the one. Everyone's phones came out. My mom was crying. Claire looked absolutely frozen. I felt like I was going to throw up. Reddit, I panicked. I said no. Not even like a soft, I need to think about it. I literally said no, I can't do this, and walked away. The music had stopped. Everyone was staring. It was dead silent except for the sound of my heels clicking as I basically ran out of the reception hall. I thought that was the worst part. I was wrong. So wrong. I hid in the bridal suite for about 20 minutes, trying to calm down. Claire came to find me, and she was pissed. Not at Derek, at me. She said I humiliated him and ruined her wedding by causing a scene. I tried to explain that I didn't know he was going to propose, that I never would have said yes to a public proposal at someone else's wedding, but she wasn't hearing it. Then my mom came in, also angry, said I was selfish and broke a good man's heart. I felt like I was going insane. Nobody seemed to care that Derek hijacked my sister's wedding without asking anyone's permission. I pulled myself together and went back to the reception because I'm still the maid of honor and had to give my speech and help Claire with dress bustle and stuff. The energy was so weird. People kept giving me these looks, some pitying, some angry. Derek was at the bar, surrounded by groomsmen. He looked upset, but people were patting him on the back. I tried to approach him to talk privately, but he literally turned his back on me. Then came the speeches. I gave mine, it was awkward as hell. Then the best man went, and then Derek stood up. He wasn't supposed to give a speech. He grabbed the microphone and said, and I quote, "I know tonight didn't go as planned, but I want everyone to know that I understand why my girlfriend panicked. She's scared because we just found out 2 weeks ago that she's pregnant, and I think the reality of everything just hit her at once. But baby, I want you to know that I'm going to be here for you and our child no matter what. I love you, and I can't wait to be a family. And I am not pregnant." The room erupted. My mom started crying happy tears. Claire actually smiled for the first time since the proposal. People were clapping. My aunt literally screamed, "Congratulations." Everyone was coming up to hug me and Derek, and I was just standing there in complete shock, unable to form words. Derek pulled me aside, squeezed my hand really hard, and whispered, "Just go with it," in my ear. I did not go with it. I grabbed the microphone and said, "I am not pregnant." I don't know why he said that, but it's not true. You could hear a pin drop. Then Derek started crying, like actual tears, and said, "Baby, I know you're scared, but denial isn't healthy for you or the baby." My mom took Derek's side immediately, said I was in shock and not thinking clearly. My dad pulled me aside and asked if I was drinking. I had 1 glass of champagne during dinner, hours before this. Claire told me I was being dramatic and making her wedding about me again. I left, just grabbed my purse and called an Uber and left. Derek tried to follow me out, but I literally ran. That was Saturday night. It's now Monday morning. My phone has been blowing up nonstop. I've gotten texts from my mom asking when my due date is and saying she's disappointed I lied. My aunt asking if I need maternity clothes. Claire saying I ruined her wedding and owes her an apology for lying about the pregnancy to get attention. 3 cousins asking why I'm denying Derek's child. My grandmother asking if we're having a shotgun wedding. Derek has been calling and texting nonstop. His messages are insane. He's acting like I actually am pregnant and saying things like, "We can work through this together," and "Our baby deserves 2 parents who love each other." I finally answered one of his calls yesterday and screamed at him, asking why he would lie about something like that. He said, "You embarrassed me in front of everyone. I had to say something, and that he thought you'd just go along with it and we could figure it out later." Figure what out later? A fake pregnancy. He then said if I just agreed to get engaged, he'll tell everyone you had a miscarriage in a few weeks and everything will blow over. I hung up and blocked him on everything. But here's my problem. My family doesn't believe me. They think I'm either A, actually pregnant and in denial, B, had a miscarriage and I'm dealing with it by pretending I was never pregnant, C, lying for attention. My mom called me last night crying, begging me to let them help me through this difficult time. When I insisted I was never pregnant, she said, "Sweetheart, Derek showed us the positive pregnancy test photo." He showed them a what? I asked her to send me the photo. It's a positive pregnancy test from Google Images. I can literally see the watermark if you zoom in. I sent my mom a screenshot showing this. She said Derek wouldn't lie about something like this and that I probably made him so desperate that he had to find proof because I was gaslighting him. I am being gaslit about gaslighting. I told my mom I would literally take a pregnancy test on video call with her. She said that wouldn't prove anything because you could have already had a miscarriage from the stress. I cannot win. Claire sent me a long text saying I'm dead to her until I apologized to Derek and stopped tearing the family apart with my lies. She said her honeymoon is ruined because everyone keeps talking about my situation instead of her wedding. I'm sitting in this hotel room. I've called out of work for today because I'm having a literal breakdown and I don't know what to do. Do I cut off my entire family? Do I show up at my parents' house with multiple pregnancy tests? Do I send a mass text with receipts proving Derek is lying? How do I prove a negative? How do I prove I'm not pregnant when they've already decided I am? The worst part is, I can see Derek's logic. In his mind, he saved face after I rejected him. Now, instead of being the guy who got rejected at a wedding, he's the devoted boyfriend standing by his pregnant girlfriend. And my family is eating it up because it fits a better narrative than Derek is a manipulative liar who proposed at someone else's wedding without permission. I need advice. How do I handle this? What do I do? Update 1, 3 days later. The last 72 hours have been the most surreal of my entire life. Thank you to everyone who commented. Reading your advice and support has been the only thing keeping me sane. First thing I did after posting was take your advice and go to my doctor. I explained the situation. My doctor looked absolutely horrified and asked for a full pregnancy test, blood work, urine test, everything. I also asked for documentation with dates and signatures. My doctor was incredibly supportive and gave me a sealed envelope with the results. Spoiler alert, negative. Obviously. I also went to the police and filed a report. Several of you suggested this, and honestly, I didn't think they'd take it seriously. But the officer I spoke to said Derek's behavior constitutes harassment and that the fake pregnancy claim could potentially be defamation. They documented everything and gave me a case number. I have a paper trail now. Then I did something I probably should have done immediately. I called Claire's husband, Mike. Mike and I have always gotten along well, and I figured he might be more reasonable than Claire right now. Mike answered, and before I could even speak, he said, "I believe you." I almost cried. He said he's been trying to talk to Claire, but she's so caught up in the ruined wedding narrative that she won't listen. He said the proposal made him uncomfortable too, and he thought it was inappropriate, but everything happened so fast. He said he'd keep trying to talk to Claire, and that he was sorry this was happening. At least one person in this nightmare has common sense. Yesterday, I decided it was time for the family confrontation. I drove to my parents' house unannounced and walked in during Sunday dinner. The whole family was there, parents, Claire, Derek. Yes, Derek was there, aunts, uncles, cousins. It was like walking into an intervention. Derek stood up when he saw me and tried to hug me. I stepped back and said loudly, "Do not touch me." My mom immediately started with, "Sweetheart, we're all here because we love you and want to support." I cut her off. I pulled out the sealed medical documents and put them on the dining table. I went to my doctor. These are certified test results from 48 hours ago. I am not pregnant. I have never been pregnant. Here is proof. My dad picked up the envelope and opened it. He read it silently. I watched his face change from concerned to confused to angry. He looked at Derek and said, "What is this?" Derek panicked. He said those could be faked, and she probably paid the doctor to write that. My aunt, a nurse, grabbed the documents and examined them. She said, "These are real. This is from Dr. Patterson's office. I know her signature." The room went silent. Then Derek started crying again. "Actual manipulation tears," he said. "Okay, fine. Maybe she's not pregnant now, but she was. She obviously terminated it without telling me. That's why she's so upset. I lost it. I lost it." I started screaming at him. I said, "I have never been pregnant. Stop lying. You made this up because I rejected your insane, selfish proposal at my sister's wedding." My mom tried to calm me down, but my dad held up his hand. He turned to Derek and said, "Why did you propose at Claire's wedding without asking us?" Derek stumbled over his words. I thought it would be romantic. It was a celebration of love. My dad. Did you ask Claire or Mike for permission? Derek. No, but Claire suddenly spoke up. Wait, you're telling me you weren't actually pregnant? Then why did I spend my entire honeymoon dealing with family drama over nothing? And just like that, Claire's anger redirected. Not toward Derek initially, still toward me for not clearing this up sooner. But Mike, bless him, said, "Claire, he lied. He made up a pregnancy. At our wedding." I pulled out my phone and showed everyone the Google Images screenshot of the pregnancy test Derek showed them. My tech-savvy cousin pulled it up on his phone and confirmed within 30 seconds that it was from a stock photo website. The room turned on Derek fast. My uncle asked him to leave. Derek refused. He started yelling about how I was humiliating him again, and how this family is toxic, and how I dodged a bullet anyway because she's clearly crazy. My dad, who is normally very quiet and non-confrontational, physically escorted Derek to the door and told him if he ever contacted me or anyone in our family again, he'd press charges for harassment. Derek left, but not before shouting, "You're going to regret this. All of you." After he left, the room was silent for a long moment. Then my mom started crying and apologizing. She said she didn't know what to think, and that Derek seemed so sincere. My aunt apologized for the maternity closed text. My cousins apologized for the accusatory messages. Everyone was suddenly very sorry, except Claire. Claire was sitting at the table with her arms crossed, and when everyone turned to her expecting an apology, she said, "I'm sorry he lied, but you still ruined my wedding by saying no in front of everyone. You could have just said yes and broken up with him later."
Især det her.
You think I should have accepted a proposal I didn't want at your wedding that he didn't ask permission for, just to avoid a scene? A scene that he created? Claire, it's not about what I think. It's about the fact that my wedding will forever be remembered as the wedding where you rejected Derek instead of MY Day. Mike looked at her like he didn't recognize her. Claire, that's insane. We argued for another 20 minutes. Claire insisted I should have handled it better and that I owe her for ruining her memories. I told her that Derek was the one who hijacked her wedding, not me, and that I'm sorry she can't see that. I left without resolving things with Claire. My parents walked me out, and my dad hugged me for a long time and apologized again. He said he should have trusted me immediately, and he failed me. So where are things now? Derek is blocked on everything, and I filed a police report. My parents believed me and apologized. Most of my extended family apologized. Claire is still mad at me. Mike is texting me separately apologizing for her. I have medical and police documentation of everything. I'm planning to move to a new apartment because Derek knows where I live. I know a lot of you said to cut off my whole family, but honestly, I think they were manipulated by someone who is apparently very good at lying. I'm hurt, but I'm willing to work on rebuilding trust with most of them, except Claire. I don't know if I can forgive her for caring more about her perfect wedding memory than her sister's well-being. Final update. It's been 2 weeks since my last update. I'm posting this final update because there's been some resolution, and I want to close this chapter. The Derek situation. Derek violated the no-contact arrangement exactly 4 times before the police got involved more seriously. 1. Showed up at my work. Security escorted him out. 1. Created a fake Instagram account to DM me. I reported and blocked. 1. Sent flowers to my parents' house with a card saying, "I'm sorry for loving you too much." My dad threw them away. 1. Had his mom call my mom to advocate for him. My mom hung up. After incident number 4, my lawyer, yes, I got a lawyer, sent him a cease and desist. I haven't heard from him since. His social media has gone dark. I think his friends finally told him he was making things worse. One interesting development, I found out through a mutual friend that I'm not Derek's first rodeo with this type of behavior. Apparently his ex-girlfriend before me broke up with him, and he told his family she had been cheating on him with multiple men. Completely false, but it took her months to clear her name. He has a pattern of lying to control narratives. Bullet dodged. The family situation. My parents have been amazing since the dinner confrontation. My mom has called me every day to check in, and my dad helped me move to a new apartment last week. They've both apologized repeatedly and have been very supportive. We're rebuilding trust slowly, and I believe we'll be okay. My extended family has also been great. My aunt, the nurse, actually called me crying to apologize for not trusting me sooner. She said she felt terrible and wanted to make it up to me. We had lunch last week, and it was really nice. Most of my cousins have reached out individually too. The Claire situation. This is the hard part. Claire and I are not speaking. After the family dinner, she sent me one text that said, "I hope you're happy that you made my wedding about you."
I didn't respond.
Mike has been texting me regularly. He said Claire is working through some things and that he's never seen this side of her before. He admitted they've been fighting a lot because he told her she was wrong for not supporting me, and she's doubling down instead of apologizing. Here's the kicker. Last week, Mike told me that during their honeymoon, Claire was more upset about the proposal drama than she was happy about being married. She spent most of the trip on her phone, reading comments from people who attended the wedding, obsessing over what people will remember. Mike said it made him question some things about their relationship. I feel terrible about that, but also, I didn't cause that. Derek did, and Claire's reaction is on her. My mom tried to mediate a conversation between Claire and me. Claire refused unless I apologized first. I said I'd apologize for any hurt I caused, but I wouldn't apologize for saying no to an unwanted proposal. Claire said that wasn't good enough. So we're at a stalemate. My mom is heartbroken that her daughters aren't speaking, but even she admits that Claire is being unreasonable. The silver lining. As awful as this entire experience was, some good things have come from it. 1. I learned who really has my back. My parents, Mike, most of my extended family, they all eventually came through. 1. I got out of a relationship with someone who turned out to be manipulative and possibly unhinged. 8 months in and he was already pulling this kind of stunt? Imagine what marriage would have been like. 1. I found a great therapist who's helping me process everything and set better boundaries. 1. I got promoted at work. My boss noticed I was going through something and pulled me aside to check in. I gave her a brief overview, and she was so supportive. She said my grace under pressure was impressive and actually factored into a promotion decision that was already in the works. Silver lining. 1. I'm dating again. Nothing serious, just coffee dates here and there, but it feels good to remember that not all men are like Derek. Final thoughts. Someone in the comments on my first post said, sometimes the trash takes itself out, and honestly, that's what happened here. Derek showed his true colors before I made any permanent legal ties to him. My family members who sided with manipulation over their own daughter/sister showed their priorities. And Claire revealed that her wedding aesthetic mattered more to her than my well-being. It hurts. I won't lie and say it doesn't. I always thought Claire and I would be close forever. But I also know I didn't do anything wrong, and I refuse to apologize for protecting myself from a manipulative partner. I'm moving forward. New apartment, new boundaries, new appreciation for the family members who did show up for me. And if Derek is reading this, which, let's be honest, he probably is, you didn't save face. You showed everyone exactly who you are. I hope you get the help you clearly need. To everyone who commented, sent support, shared similar stories, or just validated that I wasn't crazy, thank you. You helped me more than you know. I'm done with this drama. Time to live my life.